Today we are in conversation with Mr. Amit Adarkar, CEO of Ipsos. Let's talk about Ipsos. What are you looking at the future of Ipsos now?
Sure.
And the growth plans?
Sure, Lavanya, and thanks for having me over. Pleasure to meet you.
Okay.
So at Ipsos, our mission is to connect the voice of the consumer, the customer, with our clients, and we work across sectors, across industries. And I think the mission to get this voice so that our clients can make more informed decisions, I think that's very critical. One of the sort of exciting opportunities that we are exploring nowadays is how to use technology better and better.
So it's not the opposing thumb which is the differentiator now, right? It's somebody who looks at the future, that will be. So in your book, you've written that man looks at the complexity of things and that's how it's got evolved, right? So how do you think the future generation is going to take it around? Is it going to be the survival of fittest, meaning somebody who understands technology, they would be surviving much better than somebody who doesn't? Because understanding technology is across age levels, right?
Sure.
That's how it is. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah. So I think obviously in this context, survival is a very strong word to use.
Okay.
But I would rather say that people who adopt to this scenario and adapt it quite well to the changing scenario, they'll be able to progress further. And there's this lot of debate about is AI going to replace jobs, and that debate has been going on for eternity. And the reality is that whenever new technology has come in the past, jobs have always been replaced or they become enhanced or new jobs have been created. So for me, the challenge is not about AI replacing jobs, but somebody who learns to use AI better in a more effective way, responsibly, will have an advantage over somebody who doesn't. So it's not about survival of the fittest, but I think the people who adopt this tech will progress more in their lives. And this is a big change. As I said, generative AI is unique because it talks like human beings and we interact like human beings. So it's a different way of coping with the change. When all of us first got our mobile phones, it was a new tech. So that's something you hold in your hand and it looks different. It's not really an extension of you, though nowadays it's almost become an extension of us. But generative AI, there's no form. It meets you in different things. You talk to a car, which is self-driving maybe in future, you talk to your phone, you talk to your screens, and maybe you talk to, virtual people all the time in future. So it's difficult to distinguish, which means that it's going to be interesting for people to cope with it. People who can't cope, they'll be left behind. And people who cope and use it the way it should be used, I think they'll progress quite well. So you can call it survival of the fittest, but
that's what it is. Because change usually comes when that's what it's all about. The evolution part of it that way. I love the part when you said, sir, we talk to something. So long as it doesn't talk back to us, we are very happy.
Yeah, exactly. But now it will talk back.
Yes. So that's what we are looking at, something which will talk back to us, which will probably think on its own and probably take decisions on its own. So would that be a day? It is there. We do hear of all these innovation which is happening. But coming on to a mass production, do you think that would be something which we can look forward to?
Well, I mean, I guess it's happening in small measures, everywhere. I think one of the things that a lot of academicians and some of the AI technologists are also worried is at some stage will the AI start developing independent thinking or consciousness. Now, right now we are obviously way far from that stage. But there's always this debate, and I know in last 1 year we've had some developments where at OpenAI, which was about, are we doing the right thing by let the technology progress? And some countries actually ended up banning the tech, and they allowed it. So there's a lot of shifting sands in this space. My sense is that humanity has always learned how to control tech. I'm sure when the first atomic bomb was built, and after that there was the same kind of feeling, but we cope. So there'll be some mix of what regulators will do in terms of controlling the usage of technology and what people will do. I mean, I tend to be an optimist, so I always hope and pray that things will turn out to be better. But we'll have to see. It's too early to.
Leaving that thought out there, let's talk about how Ipsos is gearing itself to deal with these things.
for us, obviously, technology is at the heart of what we do, because 20 years ago, we would be knocking on doors and interviewing people using paper questionnaires. So obviously, we come a long way. We don't do that a lot. We use tablets, we do online interviews, we look at social media data, we do a lot of mining of that. So that has changed quite a bit. And for us, technology is a friend, because finally, our researchers have to sit with the data and make sense of it. So to that extent, the control is with the research team, who understands our clients' business issues and then looks at the data and gets a story out. So I don't really see that changing over time, and we've been using tech, and similarly we are using Gen AI. So we were globally one of the first early movers to start adopting Gen AI. So we have an internal ecosystem called as Ipsos Facto, which is essentially multiple tools. So the Google tool and the OpenAI tool, we have it in a closed, safe environment, which is available to our employees. And the message to the employees is to start using it, start getting comfortable, and see how generative AI can enhance what you do. Because to me, it's a big friend of the insights industry, because with so much of data, a human being to go through everything and make some sense is very difficult. But then AI can make that entire process much more efficient. At the end of it, it's still the trained researcher who's looking at the data, but now it's more sort of controllable in terms of size, and build a story. And obviously, when it comes to going and talking to the client, there you need that human connect. So for us, the attempt is to use this to make the entire process more enriching. So we're using it in two specific ways. One way is to actually build generative AI into some of the solutions that we offer, so that we can do things faster, we can elevate the outputs to a different level. And the second thing is to connect the dots, because nowadays, apart from just interviewing people, we also look at their social media data. We also look at observational data. And generative AI is a good tool to actually connect the dots. So you are getting a 360 degrees assessment of the consumer, what she says, what she does, how she behaves, and who she is. And generative AI is very good in connecting the dots. So we use it in both these ways. We already started working with a lot of our clients globally as well as in India in this journey. So the idea is to embed it more and more. But I think one of the things that we're currently doing is just to push our employees to start using it. Because naturally it's something which is different. It's not something that we're used to. And that's true with all the tech, I guess, in the past.
So you're pushing your employees to change, right?
Yeah, and I think it's more, also we need to address the concerns, because everybody is worried about what will happen. So I think the message is that it can be your friend, but get to know it first and start using it, learn from the mistakes, learn what it is good at and what it is not good at. So, you talked about empathy earlier. Now, you don't really expect that empathy to be built using a generative AI. For that, you need to still have a cup of coffee with your client and build that rapport and a relationship. But if you are dealing with tons of data, which is going to take you 2 days, and maybe using some other tools within a safe ecosystem, if that time goes down to 2 hours, it's worth it, because you can do other productive things in this time that you save. So we actually use it internally to say that generative AI can give you a gift of time. You can actually gift yourself some time, so you can do more. And you can also give some gift of time to the client, because you are doing things hopefully a bit faster and in a better quality.
So raising a toast to more coffee shop meetings.
Yeah, certainly.
And wishing you and Ipsos a great future.
Thank you
very much.
Pleasure talking to you. Thank you.